Hello and welcome to 3 Minute Gaming. I'm Nathan, and today I'm going to tell you if this game's worth their time and bandwidth. Today's game is Indika. Blurring the line between art, film, and game, Indika takes a lot of risks with its musing on faith and forgiveness. But does this fable work? Let's find out. Indika is a walking simulator with some light puzzles that focuses heavily on themes of guilt, faith and faithlessness, and underlying trauma. You are Indika, young nun in a small Russian convent, whom the other nuns, as the game puts it, love her with Christian love, but not any kind of human love. This is particularly due to a voice in her head she believes is the devil, who not only narrates the game but also gaslights her into believing she wants to do things viewed as sinful and contorts her worldview, usually in horrific ways but sometimes comedic. Indika's life changes when she's sent to deliver a letter to a nearby convent, but is sidetracked along the way by a deserted soldier whose arm is infected with gangrene. The soldier believes God speaks to him and has named him his chosen servant, and he should journey to a nearby city where a sacred relic is being kept that will heal him. Indika hopes that this same relic will purge the devil from her mind, so the unlikely pair of faith-questioning nun and devout possible murderer head together in the hopes of finding answers. I don't want to spoil too much of the story. Needless to say, it has both overt dialogue as well as plenty of subtext. This isn't a game bashing religion either. Instead, takes a nuanced approach on how two religious people with different backgrounds might interpret faith differently and how that affects them. Gameplay is very simple, as you'll usually just be walking around areas doing light exploration to find the one path moving forward. Sometimes the devil obscures the world and changes platforms, and in those cases, Indika will have to pray to switch between reality and the illusion. The game does stop now and then for more complex puzzles. Luckily, this nun is forklift certified, which often aren't too complicated and just involve lining up certain physics objects right. As you progress and do pious things like find religious artifacts or pray, you'll earn points for leveling up an upgrade tree, which doesn't do anything, which the game is very clear about. For a story perspective, it's a clever way of gamifying its core theme, but I won't go further as I don't want to spoil it. The graphics are worth mentioning as the game is rich in atmosphere, and the game does switch to a very pretty pixel art aesthetic in Indika's flashbacks. The warmth of the flashbacks compared to the bleak reality are smart visual storytelling and help with the overall atmosphere. And really, that's Indika, a short art house game that aims to tell a compelling and thoughtful story wrapped around a walking simulator with some light puzzles. So what did I like about Indika? Well, I loved this game's themes and how the story unraveled them. Indika covers not only how trauma and guilt can shape a person's worldview, but uses the medium in some interesting ways to critique and analyze those ways of thinking. Additionally, this game looks fantastic, especially for what's considered an indie game. The bleak atmosphere and gorgeous visuals, and the setting of diesel punk Russia makes things both grounded and slightly off in a way that clicks. Additionally, I'm going to commend the voice acting here, with both English and Russian tracks absolutely nailing it. VO would have made or broke this game, and thankfully these actors elevate the whole experience with some very natural performances. When it comes to the bad, this game's a walking simulator. While it does have a handful of puzzles, I won't say any of them are particularly great, and several actually felt out of place as they interfered with the story's pacing. Speaking of story, this is a tale with more subtext than direct plot, meaning if you don't like experiences where the most interesting parts are in the subtleties, you'll probably find it boring or, dare I say, pretentious. Lastly, the PS5 version had a surprising number of performance issues, with frame rates tanking more often than I'd expect, and some odd bugs cropping up now and again. It wasn't game-breaking, but it did hurt the all-important immersion. As you know, I rate games here on a 3-point scale: must play, maybe consider, and don't bother. And Indika's recommendation comes with an asterisk. I loved this game, so much so I played through it twice and will probably play it again. Its themes of guilt, faith, forgiveness, and questions on morality are fascinating and thoroughly unique. However, this is not a game for everybody. Dare I say, it's not even a game for most. It's a slow, introspective affair leading heavily into themes and subtext, and if that isn't your gem, you probably won't get a lot out of it. However, if you're the kind of person who likes A24 films, Indika is an absolute gem and well worth experiencing. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Have you heard or played Indika? Do you enjoy walking simulators? Please let me know what you think in the comments. But regardless, maybe go out there and give Indika a look.